One of the things I'd like to show you this time is how we're going to connect the extension, which is out that way, in with the existing layout in here. So just so you get your bearings, I'm standing in the corner by London Station, and then over to the other side we have Birmingham, Portarlington and Manchester, and that's the existing McKinley layout. The new layout effectively is going to go charging out, taking the existing lines that go under London and go through that wall there. On this diagram here, this green and red main line, if you remember there are two main lines on this, the black and blue and the green and red, we're going to be severing these two tracks here and taking that pair of main lines out through the wall and into the other room. In this room today, we have one of the main lines is running underneath London Station, and what it does is it circles completely around and then calls up behind London on a sort of 1 in 70 gradient and comes out to form the junction of London with the main line. We're going to be lifting that track here so that it stays level with London Station but still hidden and going out through the wall, but that's going to require some engineering effort to do. I don't envisage being able to put the extension, to connect the extension up with this room here for probably the best part of another 18 months to 2 years. And the reason is simple. The engineering effort here is going to take London out for some time. And secondly, all that dirt and debris is going to get in the way of us having operating fun with the existing layout, of which we've got so much to do anyway, with all the iPad development and getting all the stock up together. So it's going straight out through that wall. We're cutting it out. Let me show you how it works out there. I'm now standing behind the London Station, which is behind this wall here. I'm also standing behind this lovely helix, which the MRS boys have built me. I have to say, there's something quite beautiful about all these lines that make a helix. I've always wanted something like this, and it's a great sight, isn't it? If you believed I leapt over it in 2 seconds flat with this amount of clearance, I think you're having another thought. But anyway, the two tracks we're breaking out, we cut the loop and they're going to come out through here, and they're both going to basically come through this wall here, and one's going to cut to a new hole which we haven't made there, and the other one's going to go through the other part of the helix loop hole we cut there. With this little rod, I'm just going to show you the approximate levels that this train is coming through at, or the track. For the front line, that's the track that's behind the retaining wall at the front underneath London. It comes through here, and if you notice, it's at a very similar level to the top part of the helix, which is really good news, and thanks for Steve for getting all those calculations right, because this is actually joining the operational track in the other room, which I'll show you in just a minute. What I want to do with this is I want to have a really lovely feature without all these cases and boxes here, so as you walk down that hall there's kind of like maybe a viaduct like Miller's Dale. Yeah, I've walked that route, I've cycled it, I love it. I just love the whole thing. And if we can do something like that here, that would make my day. The other part about Millersdale is it has two sets of main lines. And the other line is coming in though at a much higher level, which is behind London Station. That level is very close to that, which is another good news point, because it's going to be joining up with this board. That track is going to be coming through here, going across here, through this hole, doing a U-turn and coming round, and it will be joining up the track position where that ferry wagon is right over there and running around the back of Sheffield. So what I'm going to do now is go to the other side of this wall to Halifax Station and just show you what it looks like there. So on this side of that wall we do have both holes cut out. Remember I told you about the bridge component. I wanted to be coming through here, and we've actually temporarily laid the level D track above Hades, and this is where the main line is going to be running. So the trains that are running around the existing layout will continue all the way up underneath London and come out through here and run into this room, around the island and off up to Sheffield, but I'll explain that in a minute. The entrance to Hades and the helix starts here, and there will be a point where all the trains will be coming down and descending, and the exit from Hades is going to be about here, and trains will join the main line there. This level is hidden, and the storage tracks that are under where you're looking at me from is where we're going to have the scenic trains we run around the layout. Above this will be the final level, the fifth level, level E, of which this whole sort of semicircle here, plus also the whole wall there, will be based on the town of Halifax. And this, as part of the whole room, is going to be predominantly freight with some passenger, in contrast to the other room, which is almost today wholly passenger with an inkling of freight, and we want to increase the freight proportion in there so that it's predominantly passenger with some freight, and this room is predominantly freight with some passenger. How we're going to do it in terms of operationally, I haven't got a clue today, but we'll figure it out. So I think the next thing I can do is probably take you around and show you Wakefield, which hasn't much to see, and then on to the glorious component of Sheffield. So here I'm standing effectively in front of the Wakefield side, which is probably the most important point because they've got tea facilities here. There's not much to imagine and see at this stage, so I'll just quickly describe that we've got two levels going on here. The level D, which is the main line, is going to be sitting above this track, is rising at a steeper gradient than the helix, the storage yards. The level D will be rising at 1 in 80 or 1 in 70. And this is only rising at 1 in 100, and it will carry on round following the line of the storage tracks. Level E, Wakefield, it will come from Halifax and go round this way, go round over there, and then back along that side and out towards Sheffield. So let's take you to Sheffield, where we've got most of the stuff happening at the moment. So now we come to the final area, which is Sheffield over here. If you remember, the line went round past Halifax, underneath Wakefield, and it's above this level here, level D. About this point here, it will become scenic, and it will continue to rise. This is temporary baseboarding here. It'll be slightly lower, and it rises up into Sheffield here.